Hari Om. We will start our program with an invocation. I request Kanchana Malya to render the invocation prayer. Kanchana, unmute. Okay.
Hari Om. Gurudeva tava mahaniya kripa. Gurudeva tava mahaniya kripa. मेरे जीवन का अवलंबन है, बस यही मेरा बल है। गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा। गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा। अज्ञान भरे संशय से भरे, अज्ञान भरे संशय से भरे, विपरीत विचारों से भी भरे, मन के अंधकार को दूर करे। वचनामृत से तव बोध कृपा। गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा। गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा। पल पल पग पग जीवन पथ पर, पल पल पग पग जीवन पथ पर, गुरु साथ मेरे रक्षक बनकर। गुरु साथ मेरे रक्षक बनकर, बिसरो न कभी यह प्रेममयी आनंदमयी भवदीय कृपा। गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा। मेरे जीवन का अवलंबन है, बस यही मेरा बल है। गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा। गुरुदेव तव महनीय कृपा।
Thank you, Kanchana. Hari Om, everyone. Chinmaya Mission Mangalore is organizing this talk with the support of all the people gathered here. On the auspicious occasion of Guru Purnima, our humble prostrations at the lotus feet of Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayanandji, Pujya Swami Aparajitananda, and the entire Guru Parampara. I will not going to introduce Swamiji because all of you know Swamiji very well. It was God's grace that we had Swamiji with us in Chinmaya Mission Mangalore since 2013, and just in May 2023, Swamiji was transferred to Chicago, USA. During Swamiji's stay in Mangalore, Swamiji inspired all of us by practicing what he preached. His talks were filled with full of bhakti and jnana, which touches our hearts and minds with the beautiful knowledge of scriptures. Swamiji had his own special way of transforming the children through the powerful stories, whereas with the sadhaks like us, Swamiji would hammer again and again, telling the importance of swadhyaya, selfless service, sharanagati, etc. We all have been missing Swamiji's presence very much, but today we are very happy to get a chance once again to listen to Swamiji. On behalf of all gathered here, and on behalf of Chinmaya Mission Mangalore, a warm welcome to Swamiji. Welcome you, Swamiji. A warm welcome to all of you, as well as all the people who are watching on YouTube also. Now it's the time to Swamiji. Over to you, Swamiji.
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। तव नाम स्मरणं मम जीवनम् तव नाम श्रवणं परमानन्दम् तव नाम स्मरणं मम जीवनम् तव नाम श्रवणं परमानन्दम् तव रूपग्रहणं भवहरणम् तव पादसेवनं मम रक्षकम् तव रूपग्रहणं भवहरणम् तव पादसेवनं मम रक्षकम् ब्रह्मानन्दं स्वामी नामम् नेत्रानन्दं स्वामी रूपम् नित्यानन्दं स्वामी गीतम् हृदयानन्दं स्वामी बोधम् आत्मानन्दं स्वामी ध्यानम् आनन्दं परमानन्दम् स्वामी सेवनमानन्दम् आनन्दं परमानन्दम् स्वामी सेवनमानन्दम् Sadguru Mata, Mama Guru Mata, Sri Satnam Maharaj Ki Jai. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti-smriti-purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya-kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta-jana-kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma-vittaram Sadgurum Brahma-vittaram. On this auspicious occasion of Guru Purnima, heartfelt greetings to one and all. Humble prostrations to all of you. The topic of our discussion this time is the glorious Guru Shishya Parampara. So what is the glory of this Parampara? In this Parampara, everything is glorious. The Jnanam, the self-knowledge which is discussed by the Guru and the Shishya, this knowledge is glorious. The Guru is glorious, this knowledge. The Shishya is glorious with his qualification for this knowledge. And this Parampara is glorious because of its uninterrupted continuity and infinite variety. So therefore, everything regarding this Guru Shishya Parampara is glorious. So first, we will discuss the glory of the knowledge which is discussed in this Parampara. What is the unique feature about this knowledge? What is the glory of this knowledge? This we must. So what is the glory of this knowledge? This knowledge is given by the teacher to the student. And the teacher says, oh my dear student, you are not this finite body, mind, intellect. You are infinite consciousness. Finitude is not your nature. Infinity is your nature. Mortality is not your nature. It is only the nature of the body. Immortality is your nature. You are immortal consciousness. Tat Tvamasi. Dukkha, sorrow is not your nature. You are miserable. But remember, that is not your nature. Anandam, Satchit Ananda, bliss absolute is your nature. So this knowledge makes the Shishya aware of his true nature. Whatever we experience, actually we are not that. We are just the opposite of it. It is this knowledge alone which reveals the true, blissful, infinite, immortal identity of our true self. Hmm. So, what is the benefit of this self knowledge? The benefit of this self knowledge is as we gain this knowledge, at the intellectual level, all confusions regarding life, doubts regarding life, doubts regarding the world, doubt regarding oneself, doubt regarding our duties and responsibilities, doubt regarding the highest reality, all these doubts are clear. We become very clear about ourselves. We become very clear about what to do in our life. We become very clear about the purpose of life. So there is clarity, and that there is clarity free from all confusions. This is the glory of this knowledge. This is the glory we experience at the intellectual level. And what is the glory we experience at the emotional level, at the mind level? As we gain this knowledge, we become emotionally independent. We become psychologically independent. Otherwise, what is our condition? We are happy whenever near and dear ones are around. And when they go away from our life, depart from our life, we are psychologically dependent. We are emotionally dependent. We crave for love from others. We crave to love others. We crave for love from others. This is our condition. We are emotional slaves. What does this knowledge do? This knowledge frees us from all such kinds of emotional slavery. It makes us emotionally independent. And what about the physical level? Does this knowledge make us physically independent? No, no. As far as the body is concerned, when we grow old, we will have to depend physically on others. That we can't avoid. When we become old, our children, our grandchildren will have to take care of us. If you are a Swami, then your disciples will take care of you. Dependence is unavoidable. But at the bodily level, what is the benefit of this knowledge? At the bodily level, we become free from the fear of death. This is the glory of this knowledge. We are able to cheerfully welcome death. We are able to cheerfully welcome old age. It doesn't disturb us, right? So at the body, mind, intellect level, this is what happens as we grow in this knowledge. This is the beauty of this knowledge. Also, this knowledge teaches us how to live in this world, in this very complex world. As we grow in this knowledge, our living in this world becomes very harmonious. This world is filled with haves and have-nots. So this knowledge makes us impartial towards the haves and have-nots. Generally, what is that we see? We give importance to the haves and we ignore the have-nots, isn't it? We give lot of respect, reverence, etc. for the haves, but for the people who are have-nots, who don't have what you call wealth, power, position, etc., we tend to disregard them. We tend to ignore them. What happens with this knowledge? This knowledge teaches us to love everyone. There is a vision of oneness with which we are able to love everyone. We don't care whether that person is rich or poor, whether that person is born in a high caste or a low caste. We don't care, because this knowledge says every one of us, we are none other than consciousness functioning through different equipments of body and intellect. So this world is full of haves and have-nots. This knowledge gives us the ability to love all, to serve all, to see the Lord in all. So when we are able to do this, then we say our dealing with this world is harmless. Then again, this world is filled with sense pleasures. How does this knowledge protect us? This knowledge makes us a master of all sense pleasures. It gives mastery to us. It gives mastery to our senses. It gives mastery to our mind. So even when we are roaming around in this world filled with sense pleasures, we remain a master. We don't degrade to the status of a slave of these sense pleasures. So this is again the glory of this knowledge. Makes us the master of our body, mind, intellect. Again, this world is a world of evolved and the unevolved. So how does this knowledge protect us? As far as unevolved beings are concerned, our heart becomes filled with compassion for them, patience for them. This knowledge gives us the ability to accept them. It gives us the ability to allow them to evolve at their own pace. This knowledge gives us the ability to forgive their shortcomings. So this is the way this knowledge helps us. And as far as the evolved beings are concerned, this knowledge fills our heart with reverence, a sense of reverence, a sense of respect, adoration for the evolved ones. And our heart becomes filled with an inspiration to live, to walk the path shown by these evolved ones. This is the glory of this knowledge. The glory of this knowledge is we become free from jealousies and envies when we see the evolved ones. This knowledge makes us, this knowledge inspires us to emulate the wise, the noble, the evolved. Then again, this world is filled with uncertainties. Everything is uncertain in this world. What will happen when? We don't know. So how does this knowledge help us? In this world filled with uncertainties, this knowledge helps us to keep a balanced mind, an equanimous mind. Samatvam yoga uchyate. It gives a samatvam. This knowledge, when it is there at the back of the mind, we know that though superficially everything appears to be uncertain, there is a Lord who is taking care of everything. So therefore there is nothing to worry. All happenings are not mere accidents happening illogically, but there is a divine purpose behind all happenings. Because everything in this world is governed by an omniscient, omnipotent, omniscient law. So with this knowledge, what happens? There is equanimity at the mind level. Even though we are experiencing uncertainties, even though there are unpredictabilities in the world, these unpredictabilities and uncertainties don't disturb. This is again the glory of this knowledge. It gives the mind the strength to face the uncertainties. Again, this world is full of impermanence. Everything in this world is impermanent. Nothing stays. Change is the changeless law of nature. So things, beings, and situations, they are constantly changing. And the end result of all change is complete destruction. Everything has to perish. Everyone has to die. Every relationship has to end. This is the nature of this world. So how does this knowledge help us? This knowledge gives us the strength to face these destructions, calamities, tragedies, because we know that every destruction is only a constructive destruction. Something good is going to happen. This tandavam that we see in this world, the tandavam of destruction, it is not mere tandavam, it is Shiva tandavam. It is a dance of destruction, but it is an auspicious dance of destruction. Everything auspicious. So it is this knowledge which enables us to see the Shivatvam, to see the auspiciousness behind this dance of destruction. Hmm. What happens when this knowledge is not there? This destruction will only give us tears in our eyes, miseries to our hearts. This is what happens when this knowledge is not there. But when the knowledge is there, we see the divine hand between all these happenings, destructive happenings. Thus, this knowledge gives us strength, stability while facing these destructive happenings. So these are all the glories of this knowledge. We handle every situation in life with a peace of mind. We are in harmony with nature. We are in harmony with the world. We are able to handle all situations of life in this world with the strength of this knowledge. So what is this? This is nothing but the glory of knowledge. This world is world filled with egoistic people. This is also another glory of this world. This world is filled with egos. Everyone is an ego. And now this ego is the most dangerous thing, because greater the ego in us, the more sensitive we become to others' words, deeds, thoughts, etc. So what does this knowledge do? This knowledge helps us handle our ego beautifully well, and also handle others' egos beautifully well. When we are interacting in this world, we have to interact with the ego only. There is no choice. We have to interact with our individuality. We have to identify with the body to make the body interact with the world. Identification is unavoidable. So there will be ego in us. But the beauty of this knowledge is we are, empowered to handle this ego beautifully well. So we deal with our ego beautifully well. And because we know what this ego is, we are able to handle the egos of others also beautifully. How is it possible? It is possible because of self-knowledge. A person with self-knowledge is easily able to handle the selves of others, the individualities of others, the minds of others, the emotions of others, the helplessness of others. Right? So this also is the great glory of this knowledge. Another great glory of this knowledge is it is available for everyone. This self-knowledge is such, it is available for everyone. What is the only qualification necessary for the self-knowledge? The only qualification necessary is a pure heart. There is nobody in this world who cannot develop a pure heart. When our heart's intentions are pure, naturally our heart is also pure. See, other professions, everyone cannot take it. The profession of a lawyer, the profession of an engineer, not everyone is fit for it. Not everyone is qualified for it. Because every profession, there is a particular qualification. But what about this spirituality? Everyone is fit. In your own profession, be clean, be pure. That's all what is demanded. So therefore, another great glory of this knowledge is this knowledge is available for everyone. Another great glory of this knowledge is called Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. This is how the Upanishads glorify this knowledge. Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. What does it mean? It is a pratishtha. It is very support for all other branches of knowledge. One way to understand this is, and it is true also, a person who has gained self-knowledge, for him gaining the knowledge in any other field becomes very easy. It's a very mysterious truth. A person who is spiritual, a person who is spiritually advanced, for him, learning any subject is very easy. Because somewhere, every subject is connected to spiritual knowledge. Every branch of knowledge is connected to spiritual knowledge. This is something amazing. So if a spiritual person wants to pursue music, it is very easy. A person, if he wants to pursue science, it is very easy. The mind readily cooperates to learn for a person who is spiritually advanced. He makes quick progress. It's a very mysterious truth. So in that sense, yes, this Vidya is Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. There is another meaning also. You see, what is the definition of Vidya? The definition of Vidya is Sa Vidya Ya Vimuktaye. That is knowledge which helps us gain freedom. This is the definition of Vidya. This is the definition of knowledge. Knowledge is that which helps us gain freedom. Right? In this sense, you will find that every branch of knowledge is giving us some kind of freedom or the other. It is relieving us from some misery. It is freeing us from some sorrow, isn't it? For example, medical science. It is a knowledge. What does it do? It frees us from the sorrow of disease. Engineering knowledge. What does it do? It frees us from some physical discomfort. Isn't it? Correct. In this way, you just think of all aspects. Knowledge of economics. What does it do? It gives us freedom from financial problems. Correct. Every knowledge. Right. So in this sense, you will find that in this field, whatever knowledge there is, all this knowledge is somewhere or the other giving us freedom from some particular suffering. The knowledge of map, you study the map. So what happens? The sorrow of ignorance regarding this place, that goes in. So if this is the definition of Vidya, that Vidya is that which gives us freedom from suffering. So then which must be the greatest Vidya? Greatest Vidya must be that which gives us absolute freedom from all sufferings. Correct. So then Brahma Vidya alone can be Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. Because Brahma Vidya alone gives us this absolute freedom. Because it frees us from birth and death. Only when we are born, all the other problems will affect us. This knowledge is that which puts an end to the very taking birth process itself. So in this sense, we can say this knowledge is Sarvavidya Pratishtha. Also, there is another meaning. All the other branches of knowledge, we gain it through the thought. It is all thought-based knowledge. Without the mind, that knowledge cannot be gained. It's all a thought-based knowledge. What about this knowledge? This knowledge is not the knowledge regarding the thoughts. It is regarding knowledge about consciousness, which is the very basis, which is the very support for all the thoughts to exist. All the thoughts exist in consciousness. So consciousness is a support for all thoughts. Brahma Vidya is a knowledge regarding consciousness, which is the very substratum, the very support for all thoughts. So in this sense also, this Brahma Vidya is Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. See, so what are we talking now? We are discussing the glories of this knowledge. Now, there is another glory of this knowledge. What is this another glory? It's that unique knowledge which, with limited effort, gives unlimited results. Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitramidamuttamam Pratyakshavagaman Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. Imperishable is the result. Avyayam result. This is very strange. You put forth limited effort. The law of life is you must get limited result. If karma is limited, karma phala also should be limited. How can there be limited karma and limitless karma phala? It is not possible. But in this case, it is possible. How is it? You are putting forth sadhana, spiritual effort, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, Puja, Japa, etc. This is limited. Efforts are limited. But what is the result you get? You get Amrutatva. You get infinity as the result. How is it possible? So the answer given is, you get infinite as a result, not because your effort is infinite. You get infinity as a result because the nature of the thing is infinite. When the nature of the thing is infinity, you have to get infinity. So you get infinite result not because of your infinite efforts. You get infinite result because the nature of the thing is infinite. This is another great glory of Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya gives you Brahman. Brahman means infinite. Right. Amazing. See, another glory of this knowledge is it is a greatest purifier. Uttamam Pavitram. All the other sadhanas, they will give you some punya. Correct. But it doesn't guarantee you that after this punya is generated, there will not be any papa generated. This is the limitation of all other sadhanas. So a person does punya, after some time he does papa. Whereas, what about this jnana sadhana? What does this jnana sadhana do? Because of which it has become the greatest purifier. This jnana sadhana destroys the very sinner itself. This is a unique feature of jnana. It doesn't destroy the sin, it destroys the very root cause of all sin. What is the root cause of all sin? The sinner. Who is the sinner? The ego. Jnana sadhana destroys the very ego itself. How does it destroy the ego? By making us aware that this ego is an illusory entity. It doesn't exist. It is born out of a wrong notion in the mind. So what does this jnana do? With its flashlight, it starts inquiring into the nature of the self. So that which is illusory, that which is born out of wrong notion, can it stand the flashlight of knowledge? No. It's a figment born out of our imagination. It is not reality. So when this jnana sadhana puts its light upon this entity called ego, we come to know that ego doesn't even exist. So what does this jnana sadhana do? It destroys the very sinner in us, the ego in us, which is forcing us to commit all sins. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Who is the doer of this? Who is the one who is entertaining all this? The ego in us. You will always find this. The greater the ego in a person, greater will be his Kama Vasana. Greater will be his Krodha Vasana. Greater will be his Lobha Vasana. It's a very interesting relationship. Greater the ego, greater will be the Ahankara Mamakara. Greater will be the Kama Krodha. Greater will be the Raga Dvesha. There is a direct relationship. So now what does this Jnana Sadhana do? It applies the axe at the very root itself. The root cause. And as your ego dissolves, what happens is you will find that all these vasanas in you also start dissolving and disappearing. Right? So this is the glory of this knowledge. It targets the sinner and not mere the external superficial sin. It is a deep rooted therapy, not just superficial therapy. It is not just first aid, it is permanent aid. It puts a disease to an end once and for all. It's the glory of this knowledge. So there is another glory also for this. What is it? It is very, very, very difficult to believe that this knowledge is the solution to all our problems. Many times people say, what is the use? Just if you gain self. Okay, then what? How can you solve this problem? How can you solve that problem? People don't actually understand the importance, the value, the significance of this knowledge. And that is why people don't pursue it sincerely with wholehearted effort. Because somewhere in our mind we think that this knowledge alone will not. There are so many problems for which this knowledge is not the solution. And therefore, since the demand for this knowledge is less, the supply for this knowledge is also less. Shravanayapi bahubhiryo na labhyah Shrinvantopi bahavoyam na vidyuh. Sravanayapi bahubhihi yonalabhya. Even to listen to this knowledge, it is not available for majority of the people in this world. It is a very, 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 very rare thing. Āshirvachan bhakta kushalosya labdha. Āshiryo jnata kushalanushishta. It's a wonder to see a person who is speaking on this, who is teaching this. And it's a greater wonder to see a person who is listening to this. Ashcharya it is. So why the supply is very less? The supply is very less because demand is very less. Why demand is very less? Demand is very less because people think that solution to all their problem is something else. Maybe they think the solution to all their problem is money. The solution to all their problem, relationship, or power, position. It's very difficult to see a person who has clearly understood that the solution to all my problem is ignorance of the self. Even among satsangis also, though we listen somewhere deep down, we have a doubt whether this self-knowledge will solve all my problems. That's why there is lack of wholehearted effort, sincere effort on our part. So the glory of this knowledge is, it is a solution to our, but to understand this, that this is a solution, that may take many, many lives. And therefore you will find the seekers of this knowledge are all highly evolved. They're not just Tom, Dick, and Harrys on the society. It's a royal knowledge. Rajavidya it is. You know what it means, Rajavidya? To meet Raja, it is not that easy, isn't it? If you want to meet the king of a country, how many security layers you have to pass through? Watchman is there. You have to get prior appointment. And then there are so many layers after layers after layers. And then finally you have to wait. And then finally you enter into that court of the king, meet the king in his private chamber. So this knowledge is also something like that. You can't drag this knowledge to the marketplace and make it available for everyone. It's just not possible. Just not possible. There is a lot of filtering process, because of which a lot of filtering happens. Only the pure ones, the evolved ones, and the noble ones get entry into the hall of wisdom. So when we say few people only attend this Vedanta class, it is not because the Vedanta is very, what you call, third-rate knowledge. It is so very precious that only very rare people understand the preciousness of this knowledge. That is why people are less. Because the qualification itself is a very demanding qualification. The devotion, this passion, easy. You know, the glory of something can be understood by seeing what are those people who approach that thing. Who are those people who are pursuing that? By looking at the people, you can understand the glory of that thing which they are pursuing. In the same way, if you want to understand the glory of Brahma Vidya, look at the people who are involved in passing on this Vidya to others. Chapter 4, Bhagavan says, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham vivaswan manave praha madurikshvakave bravi. See, so what is the original source of this knowledge? Bhagavan says, I have given this. See, this is another glory of this Vidya. It has come from Bhagavan himself. Sadashiva Samarambha. And see the people who are practicing it. Evam vivasvate yogam proktavanam avyayam. I gave it to Vivaswan, son God. Vivaswan manave praha. Vivaswan, the sun god, gave it to Manu. Manu gave it to Ikshaku. See the line. See the Guru Shishya Parampara. See the kind of people who are pursuing it. That itself shows the glory of this. The people who are so great, so evolved. In Mundaka Upanishad also, there's a beautiful, that's how that Upanishad begins. By glorifying this knowledge. He said there, Brahma Devanam Pratama Sambhabhuva Vishwasya Karta Bhuvanasya Gopta Sabrahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtham Atharvaya Jeshtha Putraya Praha. This is how Mundaka Upanishad begins. Brahmaji, Brahma, Devanam Prathama is the first among all gods. First among all gods means what? One meaning is he is the firstborn. That's okay. But there is another meaning also. Devatas are considered to be the people who have done a lot of tapas. They are people considered to be a lot of people with purity of mind. So Brahmaji is Devanam Pratamaha. Means what? He is an embodiment of purity. He is an embodiment of tapas. He is an embodiment of Devi Sampat. To such an extent he had become pure, this Brahmaji. He is also a Jivatma. To such an extent he became pure that the next birth of Brahmaji, when he is born as Brahma, he is not born as a union between man and woman, as is usual with others. He is Sambhabhuva. Bhagavan himself had to create him. You see, Brahmaji's birth is like that. Brahmaji is created by the Lord himself. To such an extent he was evolved. To such an extent he had developed this Devi Sampat that he is born directly from Brahmaji. Directly from the, and then from Brahmaji there are so many Manasa Putras, etc. Sanakadi Rishis. But Brahmaji, who is he born? From the Lord himself. Such a one. What is his status? Vishwasya Karta, the creator of the world. Bhuvanasya Gopta, the protector of the world. That is the status of Brahmaji. Such a Brahma. What did he do? Sa Brahma Vidyam. So that Brahma Vidya came from that Brahmaji. See how this Brahma Vidya is glorified. By glorifying the people involved with this knowledge in turn is glorified. So Sa Brahma Vidyam Sarva Vidya Pratishtha. This knowledge, which is the very Pratishtha of all Vidya, this Brahmaji, what did he do? Atharvaya Jeshthaputraya Praha. He gave it to whom? Atharva. Who is Atharva? Jeshthaputra, his eldest son. So Brahmaji gave this to his eldest son, Atharva. Now what do you give to your children? You give the best, isn't it? Because our love for our children is infinite and unconditional. So everything that is the best will be given to them. So here, what did Brahmaji choose to give to his dearmost son, to his eldest son? He considered Brahma Vidya as the highest, so he gave this knowledge to his son. See, beautifully this knowledge is glorified. And then what did Atharva do? So the next verse says, this Atharva then gave it to Angi. Then this Angi gave it to Satyavaha. Then Satyavaha gave it to Angiras. So this way this knowledge was being. And then this Upanishad says, there was a great person called Shaunaka. Shaunako vai Mahashalah. Angirasam Vidhivat Upasannah Papracha. So this knowledge, it flowed from Brahma to Atharva to Angi to Satyavaha to Angiras. To this Angiras, a person named Shaunaka comes. And who is Shaunaka? Mahashalah. This one word explains everything. Mahashala. So it is not said Ashwashala, Goshala, this Shala, Vidya. No. Just Mahashala. Mahashala means what? Everything is included in that Mahashala. So Mahashala means he was materialistically prosperous. That's what the meaning is. He had everything. Mahashala means he had thousands of cows, thousands of elephants. He had plenty of land, plenty of gold. He was materially prosperous. This is the meaning of Mahashala. But even then, he was not satisfied. What is the proof that he was not satisfied in life? The very fact that he is approaching a teacher shows that there is something lacking. Otherwise, why should he go to some teacher? So this is another glory of this knowledge. How much ever prosperous you are materially, if this knowledge is not there, you will never find fulfillment in your life. See the various ways in which, Upanishad, it is glorifying Brahma Vidya. So this Shaunaka is a Mahashala. Mahashala means what? Mahagrihasti. That is the meaning. He had children, grandchildren, great grandchildren. He had a lot of wealth. Everything was there. Family was wonderfully taken care. Wealth, power, position, everything was there. But there was a sense of hollowness, a sense of unfulfilled. And therefore, what does he do? Angirasam papracha. Angirasam vidhivat upasannam. Vidhivat. What is vidhivat approaching a teacher? Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevai. That is called as vidhivat. Fall at the feet of the teacher, serve the teacher, and then ask relevant questions. This is called vidhivat upapatti. Right? And then he asked this question. Kasminnu bhagavo vijñāte sarvamidam vijñātam. Oh Lord, what is that? Knowing which everything else. And then the whole Mundaka Upanishad unfolds. So this is the glory of this knowledge. The glory of this knowledge is all the people associated with knowledge, this knowledge, they are very highly. The glory of this knowledge is coming back on himself. Anyone who is not fit for this knowledge will be filtered out. The grass, the sensuous, the extroverted, they will never find any interest in this knowledge. That is how this knowledge is designed. So our lack of interest in this subject doesn't prove that this subject is useless. It only proves that we are unprepared to pursue this knowledge. So this is the way we have to. And you will find that this is the only knowledge where samvada happens. Not vada, jalpa, vitanda, etc. No. Samvada happens. What is samvada? The student, vidhivat upasanna, calling at the feet of teacher, with full of devotion, humility, reverence, respect for the teacher, he asks the question. And even if he doesn't understand, He never say the teacher is not good, that is why I did not understand. Subject is boring, that is why I did not know. He says, no, the fault is with me, that is why I did not understand. See, so everything related to this knowledge is glorious. Now let us see the glory of Guru. What is the glory of Guru? So till now we have been seeing the glory of Jnanam, Brahmavidya. Now the glory of Guru. The glory of Guru is he becomes a perfect medium to express the glory of knowledge. The person who has this knowledge becomes an embodiment of passion, embodiment of sacrifice, embodiment of humility. In fact, he becomes an embodiment of all virtues. If this is true, knowledge by itself cannot stand in space. It has to express through some medium, and Guru becomes a medium of expression of all the glories of knowledge. Just like color, Can a color stand by itself without any support? No. It has to take some support. A color has to take the support either of a wall or either some liquid or some paper. Color by itself cannot stand. It needs some support to exist. Is it? In the same way, the virtues cannot stand by itself. It needs a support. So Guru becomes a medium that support in which all the glories of this knowledge is. So dispassion, how do we know there is something called dispassion? We see that dispassion. Devotion, how do we know? We see that devotion in Guru. So the Guru becomes a locus, the medium through which the glories of knowledge is expressed. Again, Guru becomes a medium of inspiration for the seekers. This is the glory of he becomes an inspiration. So when we see these virtues in Guru, we are also inspired to walk the path of truth, walk the path of spirituality. So he becomes a medium of inspiration. Somewhere we think that people who are good, they suffer. People who are righteous, they suffer. The crooked, wicked people, they are the ones who are enjoying life. But a Guru comes in front of us and stands and proves that no, all those statements are true. It is only the good people who enjoy. Therefore, walk the path of dharma, walk the path of righteousness. There will be difficulty, but no problem. Keep on walking. In the end, the results will be noble and divine. He walks the path and he inspires us to walk the path. So thus, Guru becomes a medium of inspiration. He becomes a medium of expression. He becomes a medium of inspiration. Again, it is a Guru who becomes a medium of grace to flow from the universe. So Guru is available for all our service. Unseen God is not available. Seen Guru is available. So you serve the seen Guru and you gain the grace of the unseen God. This is what happens. It is easy to serve the seen Guru. So do your seva. And as you serve the seen Guru, what happens? The great grace starts flowing from the unseen God. So in this sense, we can say Guru is the medium of grace. That medium through which the grace of the Lord flows towards the seekers. Again, Guru becomes a medium of knowledge also. It is through this Guru that we are exposed to this knowledge. We are instructed in this knowledge. We are guided in this knowledge. So the Guru also becomes a medium of instruction, medium of communication, medium of knowledge. And finally, Guru becomes a medium of liberation. Through him, we get liberation. Who is it? Guru proves to us that ego is our enemy. Effacement of ego is the way. And how does he do? He becomes egoless and shows it to us. So you see, becoming egoless in front of a person who is egoless is very easy. Have you ever observed? When a person is egoless, it is very easy for us to drop our ego. But opposite is also true. An egoistic person, he will tickle your ego and he will make you also egoistic. In front of a child, you cannot be an egoistic person. The child is egoless and suddenly you will have to be egoless to interact with the child. So too with the masters. So the masters with their egolessness inspires us to become egoless. And the greatest obstacle in achieving liberation is thus overcome. And thus the teacher becomes the medium of liberation. You see, so this is the glory of the teacher. Through him, we see all the noble values expressed. Through him, we are inspired. Through him, we invoke the grace of the Lord. We receive the grace of the Lord. And through him, we become liberated. Right. Now somebody may ask, Swamiji, how to know who is our Guru? How to search for the Guru? Don't worry, all. There is a Lord who is beautifully taking care of all this. When the Guru is needed, he will appear. In what extent it is needed, it will appear to that extent. Whether it is a book form, audio form, video form, physical form, there are so many forms also. Whatever is needed will come to you. Right. No, how will I know which Guru? Because there are so many Gurus in the market. You will get your Guru according to your nature, according to your inclinations, vasana, samskaras. But there are so many Gurus available in the market. There is a bhajan related Guru. This Guru is interested only in bhajans and kirtans. Such Gurus are there. There are Gurus who are scripturally oriented. Study of scriptures, etc. is given importance. There are Gurus who are intellectually oriented. There are Gurus who are upasana oriented. There are Gurus who are Vedic chanting oriented. There are Gurus who are silence oriented. There are Gurus who are Kundalini oriented. There are Gurus who are Ashtanga Yoga oriented. You see, there are Gurus who are Seva oriented. Varieties of Gurus are. There are Gurus who are music oriented. Infinite varieties are. Which Guru is meant for me? Don't worry. Bhagavan will choose you. Just like the magnet attracts only the iron particles and not the dust particles. In the same way, the right Guru will attract you. You will get attracted towards the right Guru. It is the responsibility of the cosmos. It is the responsibility of the Lord to bring you to the right Guru. Just like the moment the child is born, the child doesn't know what food it is able to digest. The mother also doesn't know what food to give to the child. But there is a cosmic law. When the child is born, mother's milk becomes ready. And remember that mother's milk cannot be made in any other way. Isn't it? Some unique way of making it. Cosmos knows it. So the moment his child is born, the milk is ready. In the same way, the moment the disciple is ready, prepared, Guru becomes able. So we don't have to worry about all those things. We have to keep on preparing ourselves. That's all we need to do. Keep on becoming a better and better seeker. Keep on improving the qualifications necessary to become successful in spiritual. Right. So this takes us to the next topic, the glory of Shishya. So what all we have discussed now? Glory of Jnana, glory of Guru. Next is the glory of Shishya. What is the glory of Shishya? The Shishya's glory is He chooses the path of Shreyas and not the path of Preyas. He chooses the path of the pleasant, and he chooses the path of the good and not the path of the pleasant. He chooses the path of righteousness. He chooses the path of what is good and not the path of what he likes. This is the problem. So every situation he analyzes and he intelligently takes decisions. What is good for the totality, he does that, not what is good for the individuality. You see, this is how the mind is pure. When I do things which is good for all, not just what is good, then the mind is pure. When I time and again efface the ego, then the mind is pure. When time and again I walk the path of dharma, resisting the temptations to walk the path of adharma, every time this resistance happens, the mind is purified. Just like the metals are purified only in furnace, hot furnace. In the same way, it is the internal struggle which purifies the mind. And everybody has to go through this struggle. This struggle is a great blessing in this life. Let us not bypass this struggle by yielding to cheaper means, by yielding to temptations. Let us go through this struggle. This struggle is essential. This is the greatest tapas. To live our conviction is the greatest tapas. So when we do this, slowly, 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 the mind becomes pure. As the mind becomes pure, it also develops. A pure mind develops a great ability to intuitively recognize the purity of the Guru. This is what happens. Not everybody is capable of recognizing the purity of the Guru. It is only the pure-hearted seekers who are able to recognize the purity of the Guru. And when this pure seeker, pure-hearted seeker recognizes the purity of the Guru, he gets attracted to the Guru. See, it is only the pure iron pieces which get attracted to the magnet. Rusted iron pieces will not get attracted. In the same way, it is our own pure heart which makes us get attracted to spiritual organizations, to spiritual sadhaks, to spiritual teachers. It is our own pure mind. How did we attain that pure mind? Yes, we have lived a noble life. Therefore, that purity has come. It has not come accidentally. So, even if there are times when we want our near and dear ones to go to spirituality, to attend classes, etc., it just doesn't happen sometimes. Because you may force a person to sit there, but unless that inner purity is there, attraction doesn't happen, admiration doesn't happen, inspiration doesn't come from it. So inner purity alone is a cause, right? So as we become more and more pure within, you will find that you get automatically get attracted to the pure-hearted people in the society. Purity loves purity. When you are pure, you are able to appreciate the purity of others, the goodness in others. See, it's a strange law of nature. So what happens to this pure-hearted person? So this is the glory of Shishya. What is the glory of Shishya? His heart is pure. And such a pure-hearted person automatically gets attracted towards noble institutions, noble organizations, noble work, noble people, noble teachers, sadhaks, monks, to get attracted. And after getting attracted, fine. After that, what happens? Naturally, the teaching begins. The one thing the spiritual people know is to teach. Because the greatest treasure in spiritual people, it is the treasure of Brahma Vidya. It is not the treasure of worldly wealth. What they have is only this knowledge. So naturally, when you come in contact with such people, what happens? They start giving you this knowledge. And now, the pure heart of the seeker, this pure heart has a great, unique ability. And that unique, great ability of a pure mind is the ability to trust, Shraddha, to have faith. This ability is not given to every mind. This ability is given only to a pure mind. So as the teacher is giving this knowledge, and remember, this knowledge is all going against our experience. Everything is against our experience. According to us, the world is real. What does the Guru say? The world is unreal. According to us, God is not seen, so maybe there is no God. What does Guru say? God alone is. Our experience is totally contradicted when we are exposed to it. Says your understanding about everything is wrong. In fact, it is just the opposite thing which is right. According to me, I am finite. Guru says, Tattvamasi, you are infinite. According to me, world is a source of happiness. Guru says, world is a source of sorrow. According to me, ego is the source of happiness. Guru says, ego is the source of all calamities, all sorrows. You see, understanding is so different. According to me, I am the body. Says you are not the body. So when such is the kind of knowledge when you receive, what is the most important thing to keep ourselves in touch with a guru who is talking about everything which is going against my experience? What is the most important thing? Most important thing is faith. Yes. If Guru is saying is he must be right. He will not cheat. He will not misguide. Yes, my experience is not matching with what he's saying. But this person cannot cheat. He cannot misguide, mislead. So it is the trust which we do. Remember, this trust is coming from a pure. So this faith. What does Bhagavad Gita say? Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Such a person who has this kind of shraddha, this kind of faith, he will definitely gain that knowledge. There's no doubt. You see how much of filtering is happening. So the glory of Shishya is this. Even though he is listening to the scriptures, even though the knowledge is contradicting his experience, he doesn't leave the scriptures. He doesn't leave the Guru. He hangs on. He finds fault in himself. Maybe I am not fit, that's why I'm not able to understand. Maybe I'm not qualified, that is why I'm not able to understand. Nature is perfect. Scriptures are perfect. There's no flaw in them. It is all in me. This is the glory of the Shishya. In this world, it is very, very difficult to find people who find a fault with himself. Everybody is busy trying to find a fault with others. You will always find this. It's the nature of the ego. The sign that the ego is weak in us, the sign is we readily admit our flaws, admit our weaknesses. So this is the glory of the Shishya. So walking the path of truth, doing this tapas is called as jnanamayam tapas. Great tapas. Mind becomes pure. Such a mind gets attracted to this spiritual knowledge. And when he practices this slowly, this knowledge descends into us. Okay. So this is the glory of Shishya. Next, we see the glory of Parampara, Guru Shishya. What is the glory? The glory is this Parampara is infinite. This is one glory. It is infinite Parampara. As I told you, there are infinite number of gurus because there are infinite number of paths. Don't say that this path is the only path and everybody. No. There are so many paths. As I told you, Ashtanga Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, this yoga, that yoga, very many paths are there. And therefore very many teachers are also. So glory of this Guru Shishya Parampara is there are infinite paths. But finally it will take us to the self. There are infinite paths. This is one glory. The second glory is it is an uninterrupted path. Parampara. There is never an interruption. Mysteriously, the Guru finds the Shishya of the next generation. It's a mysterious thing. And that Parampara is kept alive. Evam Parampara Prapta. It is the responsibility of the Lord to keep that this Guru Shishya Parampara is. Now just imagine how many civilizations have come and gone. In India itself, how many invasions have happened. What all things have happened. How many changes have happened at the cultural level. But still this Parampara is continuing. Isn't it? And if there is any break, Bhagavan takes avatar and then again re-establishes it. Sa evam maya tebhya. Yoga prokta. Arjuna, the very same knowledge, somewhere in between it was obstructed. I have come. So the glory of this Guru Parampara, it will never become extinct. The Lord ensures the continuity of this. So thus we have seen the glories, isn't it? Glory of Jnana, glory of Guru, glory of Shishya, glory of Parampara. Thus the whole Guru Shishya Parampara is glorious. So we are all in this Parampara. May we make the best use of this Parampara. Every time when I find some fault in either the Guru or the Parampara or the knowledge, understand it is not the fault there, it is the fault here which is being projected there. In this way, if we can think, in this way, if we can correct ourselves, in this way, if we can remain humble, finding fault with oneself, then this Guru Shishya Parampara will bless us. I sincerely invoke the grace of the Lord, the blessings of the entire Guru Shishya. May we have this right attitude of a Shishya and gain this knowledge, which is most precious. So now, if you have any questions, you can raise your hand or something. If at all there is interest. As usual, no question. Thanks a lot.
We do not have. Go ahead, Rupa.
Yes. You can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yeah, Namaste, Guruji.
Ah.
So, sir, Guruji, actually, as you are rightly saying, there are 4 margas, is generally what we read for, Raja Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga. So, when a person is on that journey, starting his journey, so he has been, passed on from one end to another to third, and he or she is confused actually what marg one should go. So, how to proceed further? Because there are a lot of confusions coming from all the ways, from lectures, from some reading of books, or some news, or some WhatsApp message, or some recommendation of book from somebody, and then a person is confused because there are 4 lot of marks coming on the way, and then when one starts on some mark, suddenly another comes, then suddenly another comes, and then person is confused and he lost his way. Generally, I'm just asking, means I'm asking from my journey, which is a baby step, I can say, but still, it's like, so I'm asking that question on that basis.
See, try out all paths. Pray to the Lord with it. That path which gives you fulfillment is your path. Listen to all paths. Try practicing it also. Do some trial and error method. And then listen to the Lord with it. He will guide you by peace of mind. The problem with you is you are listening to so many people, not listening to the Lord with it. Don't listen too much of the external teachers. The real teacher is within you. The real teacher is God himself. God alone is the teacher. Remember, I told you, Guru is only a medium. Right? Where is that real source? It is in you, the true self. So spend more and more time listening to him. Spend more and more time surrendering unto that Lord. Then you will find that he will show you. This is the, just like Arjuna did. Bhagavan, I am confused. I surrender unto you. Please show me the path. This way, pray to the Lord who is seated with him. Then mysteriously you will be exposed. That is God's work. Your job is to sincerely seek knowledge from the depth of your heart with all purity and humility. If your sincerity is true, if your purity of mind, if you're sufficiently developed, then unerringly you will be guided. All confusion is because somewhere the ego is getting involved. The moment you are ruled by the ego, you will be lost. Surrender that ego at the feet of God. Seek for knowledge with all humility and devotion. Then you will never be misled in life. Did I answer?
Yeah, I'll go much inside when it comes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Bharatish, unmute yourself.
Hello,
Yes.
am I audible, Swamiji?
Yes, yes, yes.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om,
My
Hari
question
Om.
is that you told that when we understand that Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, will be clear of our goal, purpose, everything. We have a clarity in our life, purpose, what is the purpose. Though we listen, in a week, we used to Shravana many more lectures. We'll understand that we are, our true nature is, the self is awareness, consciousness. But after hearing all those things, when we go into the world and dealing with the world, we lost at that moment. Being in that conscious, we lost, and we'll emotionally involved. We identify with the BMI, and after that moment, we realize that moment we react, we involve in that emotions. Later, we realize for introspecting, we recall this knowledge, and we'll find out our mistakes, and we try to change ourselves. But in the next moment also we do the same thing. How to hold on to this knowledge strongly in every moment, and how to be witness ourselves in every situations, and how to be in the conscious itself. What practice we should cultivate?
See, this is a very common experience of all the seekers. Thousands of times you will have to fall. Then again you get up. Again you fall. Again you get up. But slowly, slowly what happens? You slowly start becoming more sensitive, more alert, more vigilant. Because you know, last time I had fallen, this time I should be careful. Then you are careful. And somewhere again you become little careless. You fall. Again when you fall, next time when you get up, again you will see last time I had fallen. I should be more careful, more careful. So this is how it grows. Slowly, 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 you become more alert, vigilant, and slowly a time comes when mind is habituated to abiding in consciousness. Mind is habituated to remembering the law. After that, you are safe. So just like a child has to fall many times before it learns to walk, in the same way, we also have to fall many times. Rebirth is nothing but more and more opportunities to learn from our mistake, to correct our mistake. And so therefore, don't get dejected when you are falling. Hold on to God. He will forgive you. How much ever mistake you do, He will forgive you. And again, He will inspire you to walk. So this is what we have to do. Automatically, you will clearly find that you are evolving. Will you clearly see 5 years before how I was, now how I am? Clearly see a difference. That itself shows that you have grown in spiritual. So be prepared to fall, because this path is not very easy. You can just, in one few years you will get it. No, you have to work hard. Don't get dejected in fall. Gain more inspiration and put forth more effort. Right? Yes. Right. Yes, Amma. You have to mute it. Mute. You are muted.
Swamiji, such a
Ah.
wonderful, as usual. I have a doubt. I'm just wondering, like, see, when you are with the egoless people, when you are with egoless people, you also experience egolessness in you. It's so easy to be egoless. But when you are with egoistic people, your ego also sometimes comes up. They can tickle your ego. And so in that case, should we avoid such situations, or should we take it as a sadhana, spiritual sadhana, so that what will be, what is better, so that, or yeah, I was just thank you.
So it all depends on how you are dealing with this egoistic people. One way, egoistic people, sometimes they do good to us also. They crush our ego. Egoistic people, they are habituated to crushing others' ego, because they are so full of themselves that they unknowingly disregard others, ignore others, and in the process, they crush others' ego. So why not take it as a great blessing? If you are with people whom you can't avoid in some relations, etc., and they are highly egoistic, so then you have to understand that God has put you in such a situation so that the roughness of their ego polishes your ego. You understand? Sometimes egoistic people can crush your ego. That way it becomes a great blessing. An egoistic boss can be a great blessing for a what you call seeker assistant. So wherever God has placed you, understand that that is the right environment for us to grow. Without purpose, God will not place us in such situations. So we have to only find out how I can positively make use of this environment to spiritually grow. Right.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Otherwise, Asmita may carry on.
So I don't think so. We have any questions further. We express, Swamiji, we express our sincere gratitude for giving this precious gems to us, which will definitely help us all sadhakas in our spiritual journey. We pray to Almighty that He keeps giving us the opportunity to meet you virtually like this again and again. Sincerely thanks to all devotees for attending this session. I also thanks Anupamaji, our devotee from Kormangla, for providing us assistance on technology front. Devotees who wish to who are desirous of donating may send their donation to Mangalore Ashram. The details of the bank account were put on the chat box by Anupamaji and are also available on the Mangalore website. Sincere thanks, Swamiji, for coming here. Thank you so much.
Shall we wind up
Yes,
Yes,
with a
sir.
concluding prayer?
Yes, sir.
yes, Swamiji.
Om Sarve Bhavan